Is a Porsche powerful?
I'm sorry?
Is a Porsche powerful?
Yes.
Is a Ferrari powerful?
Yes.
What about a Lamborghini?
Yes, Lamborghini. Yes.
How do you put those together?
Each has its own...
Okay, so then it's not a problem that it's one or the other. You understand? They can both be powerful and not be a problem.
Yeah.
You know, what about that, what do they call it, that thing that NASA sends up, you know, every now and again?
Space shuttle.
Yeah, the space shuttle, is that powerful? You understand? So it's not a problem because power is one of God's opulences, right? So there's no contradiction because ultimately it all comes from God. So it's God who's powerful. And these are manifestations. Okay? So this is how it works. Okay? You have the Hare Krishna mantra. It's the original mantra in the spiritual world. The first expansion of the Maha Mantra is the Kama Gayatri. Right? And then it expands into many other Gayatris, the last manifestation basically being the Brahma Gayatri. Right? Then, that's all inside of the spiritual world. Right? Then, Omkara, from that Brahma Gayatri, that penetrates through the material world. Right? The covering. And it comes to the material world. Right? Then the Om expands into Bhurbu Swa. Right? Bhurbu Swa into the Gayatri Mantra. The Gayatri Mantra into the Purusha Shukta. The Purusha Shukta into the Veda. You understand? So here, the first manifestation is Brahma Gayatri. And then in other Upanishads and other places, and then we find these other mantras. But we have to understand is in a reflection, it's always upside down. What was the original here comes later here. What comes later in the spiritual comes first on this side. Does that make sense? So that's why the Maha Mantra is beyond all rules. Gayatris have rules. You're not qualified, you chant them, you get no benefit. The Maha Mantra, you're qualified or not, you get benefit. Because it's the original mantra. Okay?
There are these many kinds of Gayatris, and so again those Gayatris which one didn't get specifically from spiritual master be used in the worship or prayers.
Why would you want to use them?
For example, if one wants blessings of some certain form of Krishna.
But why Gayatri? If you're not initiated into it, it doesn't work. Why do you want to use it? You know what I'm saying? What's the benefit?
Yeah, but I'm asking if there is any benefit.
You're not initiated into it, so it doesn't work. What would be the benefit? You know what I'm saying? Better you chant prayers, because that anybody can use. That would be a benefit. Why are the prayers special? Because they come from great devotees. So it's the mood of these devotees that's important. Gayatri is a matter of sadhana. And then from that sadhana you get realization. From the prayers, that's more accessible. So then better you offer prayers that are connected with that. Plus, all these mantras, then they contain everything else. Anyway, the Guru connects to anything there. Gopal mantra is, dealing with any form of Vishnu. So one doesn't have a problem of a deity that one doesn't have a mantra for. Okay. It's just like you want to chant that Gayatri for that deity, that you know what it means. You know what I'm saying? You know what the Gopal mantra means. So if you don't know what that means, and you're initiated into it, why would you understand a mantra that you're not initiated into? So that doesn't make sense.
Ja siihen on vihitty. Muistettaisiko, että nykymantroja, joihin on vihitty,
Okay.
puhutetaan niistä.
One question in Gayatri, what's the specific meaning of chanting Gayatri while doing offering for deities?
Oh, why? Because you use some mantra as a medium to make the offering. So the Gayatri mantras are specifically connected with worship of the deities. So that's the mantras that you use. Does that make sense? For someone who's second initiated. If you're not, then you use these other mantras. Okay. Your classical mantras. To spiritual master, Namo Brahmanya, Namo Mahavira, the ones who worship Chaitanya, ones who Krishna. Same point, because it's through the mantra.
So it's always prior to the sentence, even if although it's maybe not the exactly right Sandhya.
But those aren't part of your sadhana. You understand? The Gayatris that you're using in the deity worship aren't your sadhana. The deity worship is your sadhana. So you're already chanting the Gayatris anyway. You understand? These are extra. Does that make sense? Yes.
Yeah, or I mean like midday offering usually.
That's there, but that's combined there. Is that the wrong time? Is it the wrong time?
Yeah, sometimes there may be like.
Is it the wrong time? 1 hour difference, so what leeway are you giving for this time?
I think it's no big deal.
Yeah. Now let's say 4 o'clock offering. That's not a time for chanting Gayatri, so that's an extra mantra. So, in other words, if it's at the time when you would be chanting your morning, noon, or night Gayatri, then you may be mixed there. Generally it's not, I think you could. But if it's at any other time, then you don't worry. It's extra. You understand? Because it's part of the puja. The other is part of the sadhana for you to get, because at those times, that's when you can focus on it. While here you're focusing on the deity.
Someone may never be initiated by a spiritual master, but in the Mahamantra Hare Krishna, but there is still the benefit.
Yes.
That is the difference.
See, the benefit, there's no difference in the benefit from the chanting. The difference is in establishing a relationship with God. You know what I'm saying? Because technically speaking, initiation means you're serious. Right? Just like you have a boy and a girl, they've been together, they really like each other, they go everywhere and do everything. But when the boy proposes to the girl, then it's considered serious. Right? Then the relationship goes to another level. In other words, they go on being friends and going out to movies and dinners and this and that. But then it becomes serious. So that's what initiation is. It's that commitment to the relationship with God.
So it doesn't matter, there is not official ritual ceremony yet.
There has to be official acceptance. Oh, if not, no, the point is, for it to be initiation, there has to be that mutual acceptance of each other and a commitment to the relationship. So in that, then that's signified by accepting a name connected with the Lord, that we're servants of the Lord, and that the material world's a place in this, these kinds of things. There's five aspects, panchasamskaras. So the yajna, they formalize it, but that's not as it's typically done when you have anybody. But if somehow or another you don't have that opportunity, then it can be accomplished without that. that acceptance. But if it's simply just you have a nice relationship and like that, then that's a sexual relationship. So that's also good. It'll get one very far. But still, there's that element of commitment that one has to see is, why is it one's not initiated? You know what I'm saying? That's the point. So it's a matter of carrying on, doing the best you can, carrying on, and then you see with time, then that may become a necessity. You know what I'm saying? At the present time, it's not so important. Then you continue following the process. And then with time, then it may seem to be the right thing to do. You know what I'm saying? Because now it doesn't, don't worry about it. Continue the process. But the main thing is that we're chanting, we're associating with devotees, taking the shot, doing the practice. Like that. That continues, and with time it'll become obvious what we should do. Does that make sense? Okay.
Maharaj, in the beginning of when you start chanting, especially in the morning, you have very good concentration. So as soon as you offer, in the morning when you start, but as the time progresses and as more lightning comes, then the concentration really goes here and there and doesn't really stay. So how do we really keep the good concentration which was in the beginning till last? Because after a couple of rounds, it really goes, simply doesn't, it's not in control.
Are you talking about the day or when you're sitting and chanting?
When you sit and chant.
It's just a matter of practice. One will start chanting, one mind will go, and you bring it back.
But the problem is, you try a couple of times, but then after that, without knowing yourself, the mind takes the control.
Yes, it's just practice. Like you have a child, and they just put them down here, and they walk off here, bring it back, they walk off there. That's what they do. But with time, they grow up, and then they stop doing that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes, it's just a matter of time. Don't worry about it. It happens, so you just keep continuing to try, keep trying. Is that okay? Yeah. The main thing is keep chanting, keep associating with devotees.
And one more question, when the spiritual master is not physically present, or other way, when he is physically present, you feel a lot of enthusiasm and you feel really secure. But when he's not physically present, especially in my case, I'm working in different places and different countries sometimes. And I don't get association, or sometimes I don't see his photo also. In the sense, his lecture.
Take a photo.
I have a photo, but in the sense, I don't hear any lecture or something for a couple of weeks. Then I feel a little demotivated kind of thing. So.
The point is by associations with instruction. So the instruction you got, that's what then you try to apply in your life. He's given instruction, and by contemplation, then you see how to apply those. And then you practice those. So then you're always associating by instruction. See, because Vapu, the form, now and again you can appreciate it because they're there. But Vani, it doesn't matter. They're not there, you can appreciate it. So that's why that's more important. When you can get the association, direct association, you take advantage. But when that's not there, then you continue that association by following instruction. Does that make sense? Like that. And you can always read like that. If you're not hearing from them, read. Hear lectures, things like that.
Do we need some kind of qualification to start reading Bhagavatam, or we just start reading Bhagavatam?
Do you need some kind of qualification?
Do we need some kind of...
Do you need a qualification to eat a bowl of sugar?
No.
No. You have a knife, you have a cutting board. The relationship, right? How do you put it? Potato, cutting board, knife, potato, cutting board. Right? You could put the potato, cut a knife, put the potato on top, and then whack the potato with a cutting board. You could do that, right? But why does it work? It works, it's slow because it's basically the opposite of what it should be. So you've got it in line, right? You know, but if I take a potato, put the cutting board, and then whack the cutting board with a knife, probably nothing will happen. Right? So, you know what a cutting board does? It supports. It allows cutting to go on without getting damaged, right? It doesn't damage itself, it doesn't damage the knife. You put potato in between the knife and the cutting board. You use the sharp side of the knife, you apply some pressure. The potato gets hot, right? You use the back of the knife, you have to apply a little bit more pressure, right? And when you hold the knife, you hold the handle. You don't hold the blade, right? Does that make sense? Like that. So all these things are there when they say, oh, you know, Vedic is so technical. But it took a few minutes to describe the potato, the board, and the knife, and the relationship, and actually how you work it, right? So that's all the Veda is telling you when you watch on it. It's that simple. It takes 7 seconds, and it takes a whole page. So by practice, something difficult becomes very easy. Okay? So now you have that, you get that, because your goal is to get a potato that's cut up. So then you have it. So now, if you push harder than the knife needs to be done, right? It means how much you need to cut the potato. If you push less, it won't cut. If you push too much, your knife might get stuck in the board. Right? Make sense? So you are careful on how you're dealing with knife. If it's not cutting, then if the knife is not sharp, you'll sharpen the knife. Right? Does that make sense? Right? If you keep your finger too close and you get cut, was the knife's fault? Must be the potato's fault. You know? Well, then if not the potato, then at least it has to be the cutting board's fault, right? No, it's your fault, right? Because you're operating. Right? All these things seem so elementary, so simple, right? So ordinary. Any idiot knows this, right? Okay, but replace that knife, cutting board, and potato with a person, and all these same principles that should be applied, we don't. Because the person has feeling, so we go by our feeling, or whatever we feel like, we think that's reality, and that will happen. Make sense? This is where the problem comes up. You can deal with dead matter fine, but if the dead matter talks, then you have a problem. But it's the same principle. Who are you? Who's the other person? What's the relationship? So therefore, what's the proper way of doing it? What is the goal of that relationship? So you act in such a way that you get the goal. If you're not getting the goal, it's not their fault, it's your fault. Right? The man is expert at his business. He's so much money. He's expert at driving his car. He's good, for a hobby. He's a great carpenter. He can make all the furniture in his house. You know, he goes out. He's great at golfing. All these different things he knows. Here's the ball. Here's a little thing like this. You whack with this iron, it goes down there and falls in the hole. And people go, "Are you hole?" Right? But he doesn't expect the ball to do it, or anything else. The thing he hits it and it goes into the bushes. He doesn't go, "Oh, the stupid bushes! It jumped out and took my ball." He knows I hit it into the bushes. Right? If his car skids off the road, he knows he was driving too fast in the conditions. If the business fails, he knows I made a mistake. Right? But when he walks in the door at home, and he's aware of what his wife's mood is, he thinks it should be this, but it's not, it's that. Just like you think the road should be perfectly smooth, no cars, no rain, and a truck went by didn't, drop some sand on the road. But the point is when you get to the corner, it's wet and there's sand and stuff, then you be careful, you'll slow down. Why? Because you're aware, right? The market changes. You adjust your business because you're aware. Right? You're doing anything. You're riding your bicycle. Anything changes. You're aware. You change it. The man walks in the door to his house. He thinks his wife should be like this, and if she's not, then it's her fault. See what I'm saying? So simple. So simple. But, we just don't accept it. No, because I want it to be like this. So what? If we're going by one, everybody would be, a billionaire. Everyone would be, a model on front of Vogue. Everyone would be, just you go on and on and on with the list. Okay? But it's not like that. You know how to work, you get a result. You don't know how to work, you get no result.